Time for your Antioch vs. Hochul case update. Let's talk about it. What is up, Wolverines, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about Antioch versus Hochul, but before we get into that, I want to talk to you about the economy. Right now, the economy is in the toilet, and I don't see it getting any better. That is why I am trying to protect my retirement by transferring over a couple of my 401ks over to a Lear Capital Advantage IRA. Lear Capital is the gold standard in precious metals, and right now they are offering a free investor's guide to gold and silver by just calling 1-800-741-0551. And if you do decide to sign up with them, you can get up to $15,000 in bonus silver and free shipping on your first order. Lear Capital has over $3 billion in transactions and an almost perfect rating on Trustpilot. Lear Capital is a conservative American-based company that supports shows like mine. So go ahead and give them a call at 1-800-741-0551. That's 1-800-741-0551. One more time, that's 1-800-741-0551 and get your free investor's guide to gold and silver. All right, guys, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the big case update in Antioch versus Hochul. If you don't know, Antioch versus Hochul is the second case that Ivan Antioch and GOA brought against New York, challenging the CCIA. They're challenging almost every part of the CCIA, from the training requirements to the sensitive areas to basically everything with the CCIA. And they won a TRO that was put off because the circuit court wants to hear about the TRO. TRO is temporary restraining order, and they now are trying to get a permanent injunction and temporary injunction against the Concealed Carry Improvement Act. New York is fighting back to try to get it thrown out, and they are claiming that the pastor on the case does not have standing. Basically, what they are trying to do is say that he doesn't have standing because there's no credible threat that he will be arrested, even though the law goes into effect and says that you'll be arrested if you carry a gun in the church. They call it generalized statements, even though the guy that is in charge of the law enforcement in his county says he will enforce the CCIA, which includes enforcing it on churches. And since Pastor Mann has not been arrested for violating the CCIA and the police have not given him an exact date of when they're going to come arrest him, they are stating that he has no standing to sue. But the courts have said on multiple occasions that you can sue over an unconstitutional law. In fact, there are several people on this case that plan to violate the CCIA. Pastor Mann, in particular, will have to violate the CCIA unless he gives up his firearms. He actually lives on the premises. So by default, his home, his actual dwelling, will become a sensitive area because the church owns it, which means that he will violate the law unless he gives up his firearms. And he's not planning to give up his firearms, so he's definitely going to violate the law. The police saying that, hey, we haven't arrested you for violating the law yet, so therefore you cannot sue us, is kind of ridiculous. And I don't think it's going to hold up. But the state is grasping at straws because they know they are in trouble. The judge presiding over the case has already said that he believes the law is unconstitutional. GOA filed a response to the motion to dismiss, stating everything I just stated. One of the interesting things is they referenced the case Susan B. Anthony List versus Dryhouse. Now, that's a case out of Ohio. I'm not really going to get too much into that. You can read about it. It's a very, very interesting case. But just know the Supreme Court ruled unanimously, which hardly ever happens in favor of the Susan B. Anthony list. It's a very interesting case, and you should read about it. It involves billboards and everything else, but yeah, just go read about it. It's not a gun-related case, but it is still good for you to read other cases that are not gun-related. I am thinking that we will hear something about the injunction this week. Hopefully, it will be good news. There is also Boron versus Bruin, which is in another New York District Court. We should be hearing something on that soon as well. But I believe that the CCIA's days are numbered. And if the CCIA gets taken down, that is going to be a shot across the bow of New Jersey that has a law that's similar and in some ways even more oppressing than the CCIA. And if the CCIA is found to be unconstitutional, there's no way that law will stand either. All right, guys. So once I hear more, I'll let you know. But until then, I love you very much. Stay ever vigilant. Stay ever free. Like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me, and it really helps me out with the algorithm. All right, guys. Love you very much. Wolverine's mother.